All right, good morning, everyone. At approximately 0400 hours, I received a telephone call from Fire Chief Treloar stating that there was a rash of fires throughout the city of Waterloo last night. And the first thing that came to my mind was, I won't tell you the first thing that came to my mind, but I was wondering about the safety of our community. I was worried about if we were able to meet the demands, and he assured me that things were calming down, that things were taken care of. But it also helped for me to think about the fact that we have one of the best fire services in the entire state of Iowa. And today is a way that not only we can talk about that, but today is a way for us to ensure our public that we are able to keep our streets safe. And so with that, I would like to turn this over to Fire Chief Treloar to tell you about all the things that have taken place. And then afterwards, Dan Trelka, Police Chief, will talk about the apprehension of the person that was responsible for the fires last night.
Okay. Thanks, Mayor. I just thought I'd go through a little bit of a timeline of how we received the call. So at 0250 hours, we received a dispatch call for a commercial building fire, the 200 block of West 8th. Our fire crews arrived within 3 minutes and found a fully involved structure. It's worth noting in Waterloo, for a commercial building fire, we dispatched 4 engines, so 4 fire trucks with 3 personnel a truck. Also an aerial device, the one that's right behind us, with 2 personnel on it, an ambulance, and our command vehicle. When our crews arrived, they quickly went to defensive mode. We had 18 personnel on scene at the West 8th Street fire, and we were able to save 2 large exposures that were close to the building that was on fire. So when we go to a defensive type of fire mode, we don't worry about the building that's on fire. We worry about the exposures around there. So we're pleased to say that we saved both of them. One was a very large pole building that we understand was owned by community builders and did have product in it. While that fire was going on at 0322 hours, so 0322 hours, we were dispatched for another commercial building fire located at 54 Lane Street. We had 2 engines left in service that weren't at the West Street fire, so they were dispatched along with 2 other engines that we released from the West 8th Street fire. Our crews arrived on Lane Street within 3 minutes, found a small fire on the exterior of the building. It was quickly extinguished. It's a large brick building that appears to be abandoned. However, there's a business that operates out of this building. It's the old Allstat Langlis Bankery building. At 0342 hours, a residential fire came in and was dispatched at 121 Irving Street. That's about 4 blocks from the 54 Lane Street fire. Our crews arrived on scene within 3 minutes and found a fire on the front porch. They were able to quickly extinguish that fire. At 047 hours, a residential fire was dispatched for 526 Logan. Our crews arrived within 2 minutes on that fire. We had fire and smoke coming from multiple doors and windows. Our crews were able to extinguish that fire within about an hour and protect all exposures in that area. And then the last fire was dispatched at 0521 hours, a residential fire to 521 Pine Street. Our crews arrived there within 3 minutes again. We found a small fire in the window well of a large 2-story building. Waterloo PD and WFR personnel were able to quickly extinguish that. It's worth noting during these fire calls, we also had 2 911 EMS unrelated calls, so our ambulances were busy as well. We're extremely pleased with our response times and the way our crews operated in a safe manner. We're able to extinguish the fires as best we could. More importantly, we're able to protect exposures. We called in our fire marshal, who has been to all 5 fire scenes. Our fire marshal is also our investigator. He did work our canine dog radar, and we want to make sure we're doing a thorough investigation. I think it's worth mentioning that we have great water here in Waterloo. Our hydrants functioned very well. We've got great pressure and great amount of water for firefighting. And there goes a mic. Also, our dispatch center did a very good job. They were overwhelmed, but they dispatched us in a very very appropriate manner. Mid-America also responded in a timely fashion. So we were just pleased. We had 28 personnel on shift yesterday. It was a challenge, but we were able to handle those calls in an effective manner. So that's all I have for you right now. I'll turn it over to Chief Trelka.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Mayor. In regard to the Logan fire, one of our officers was off duty. He called that fire in, and after he called it in, it was Officer Ennis Merzlock. He had been working security at Allen, just finished his shift, saw the fire as he was leaving, called it in, and then he started driving around the area in his personal vehicle. And he ended up spotting somebody walking around that he felt was suspicious. So he called that in to our on-duty officers. Our on-duty officers responded, contacted this person, took him down to the station, interviewed him, and this person ultimately confessed to setting this fires. So good community policing efforts, good teamwork between the Waterloo Police Department and the Waterloo Fire Rescue. Just a good job all around. It's amazing that how extensive this situation was and how quickly it was it came to the conclusion that we're at right now. So I just got to give hats off to all the personnel that responded and dealt with this situation.
All right. Are there any questions for us at this time? Yes, sir.
Chief, did the suspect give any indication as to why he did it?
As far as I know at this point, I'm not sure. But I'm sure that will ultimately be revealed. At least I hope so.
Does this gentleman have any sort of criminal history whatsoever that you know of?
I don't know yet. But that's one thing, of course, we're checking, we're looking at.
And I also noticed that he was arrested. I believe he may have been intoxicated. Was his blood alcohol concentration ever checked?
I think that arrest was several years ago.
Did I hear you correctly, Chief, that one of the places that burned was a residence?
Yeah, there was three of the fires were residential type of settings.
How many people are displaced?
So the house fire on Logan was an abandoned house. 526 Logan was abandoned, and so was the house on Irving was not occupied, as well as the one on Pine Street was also not occupied. They'd been boarded up, what we consider abandoned homes.
Would we call these 5 properties then abandoned?
Well, the business at 54 Lane is occupied, so we're considering that an occupied building that was attempted to be set on fire, and we had a small fire outside at the overhead wooden door there.
Chief Trelka, when the man that the officer saw walking, I mean, did he have a gas container or anything that made him stand out? What made him stand out?
Yeah, just that time in the morning, the officer notices him walking down the street, felt that was suspicious. And if I'm not mistaken, we did find some evidence in the area where he was apprehended.
Any idea how the fires were started for each specific incident?
Well, we're not 100% sure, but we feel that more than likely an accelerant was used, if not on all the fires, certainly 2 or 3 of them. We did work our canine dogs, so our fire marshal did take samples at least 3 of the scenes. We'll send those off to the state lab to see what product is on there, if any.
Any estimated cause of damage?
Well, that's kind of a tough thing on what an abandoned home would be worth. The one on West 8th was in the midst of being tore down by the looks of it. We did contact the owner of that. He indicated he had about $10,000 wrapped up in trying to get that house taken down. The one on Logan, the value of that home would be very low, and the same with the one on Pine.
All right, if there's no other questions, and just to conclude, damaged property, fire property can be replaced. Human life cannot be replaced. So we're thankful that we have our fire service. We're thankful for the work of our Waterloo Police Department in coordinating and working together and making sure that this person was taken off the streets and that the properties were no further damage or no other property damages. So thank you for being here this morning.